Good morning, I welcome you to this online session. Today I'm going to talk about the book Kicking a Ball. The author is Allan Ahlberg and the illustrator is Sebastien Braun. The publishing house is Penguin Books. So let's have a look at the front cover. What can we see in the front cover? We can see the map of the world with different continents, and people all over the world are doing the same thing. They are kicking a ball. And this shows us the universal theme of football. Football is a universal language. We can communicate by playing football. Everyone understands this language, whatever language you speak. And they all have the same passion. Even whatever job you do, it's okay, it's all right to play football, and you can play football wherever you want, even if you just have a ball. Now, let's turn the page, the book, and here we have the blurb. Now, this blurb is quite different from the blurbs we usually see. So this blurb is a form of a poem. Let's read. Kicking a ball. Kicking a ball. That's surely the purpose of life after all. Not climbing a mountain in far Nepal or diving for pearls in the Bay of Bengal, but kicking a ball. Kick, kick, kick. Kicking a ball. So what can you notice from this blurb? We notice that it is in the form of a poem, so the book is going to be one whole big poem. Now, let's start from the first page. What I like best, yes, most of all, in my whole life is kicking a ball. And you can see kicking a ball is in a very big font, and this suggests that it is the main theme of the book. So kicking a ball, it's also the title of the book. Now, not eating an ice cream or riding a bike. No, kicking a ball is what I like. Not reading a book or writing a letter. No, kicking a ball is 20 times better. So what is he saying here? That he prefers kicking a ball. He prefers football. And he prefers playing this game with his friends rather than doing any other activities like reading a book or writing a letter or eating an ice cream. And we have the rhyming scheme, which is eating an ice cream or riding a bike. Kicking a ball is what I like. So we have the second and the fourth verse in each stanza rhyming together. The last word of each verse, of the second and the fourth verse. Now we're going to have a look at the pictures of the book. So we have different children playing football. We have Clive, Trevor, the protagonist of the story, person who is telling the story. With Clive and Trevor, Malcolm and Paul, or even without them, just me and the ball. And me is in capital. And this shows that even without your friends, you can easily play just having a ball. Just me and the wall. And the wall is caps as well. Now I'm going to read this part, because after you're going to have a task related to this part of the book. Not punching a ball or bashing a ball, serving a ball or smashing a ball, not throwing a ball or blowing a ball, not bowling or patting a ball, not pinging or ponging or potting or putting, but booting and shooting. And here we have sort of the refrain, the main verse, kicking a ball. Now here he's showing us different settings where we can play football. I have the playground, the grass, and different parts of the day. You can play football in the morning, in the afternoon, and at bedtime. Here he's talking about different balls, balls that you can use for other sports. But he's saying the football is the ball he likes most. And then he mentions he's playing with words here. We have ball point, plastic ball socket joint, not a ball cock, not a ball bearing, but just a football. And here we have the blurb again, and we've got another stanza over here. And he's saying the same thing we talked about in the beginning. So he's saying kicking a ball is the purpose of life after all. Okay, and he's mentioning the different countries, different continents, and all the different things you can do in these places. He says, obviously, playing football is the best thing of all. This is the same, kicking a ball. Now, if you remember well at the beginning, we saw the author talking about his life when he was young. And now he's talking later on. As the year passes, I'll still be running across the grass. So when he is when he's a grown-up, he still likes football. His love for football persists throughout his whole life. And we can also compare this journey that we have, the journey that we talked about in the beginning, journey with the ball, we can compare it to one's life. Life is like a journey. Okay, we start from the very, very young and keep growing up. But he's saying football, the most important message of all is that football is still his main purpose. And then he mentions the things he does when he's a grown-up. Reading the paper, having a shave, forcing the goalie to make a save. So he is shaving, he is playing with his baby, kissing my wife, bathing our baby, okay? He's putting his baby to bed. But when you see in the picture, football is always there, present. Now he's mentioning different temperatures and different seasons. Again, we have freezing cold, blinding heat, and if you're caked in mud or covered in sweat, doesn't matter. And then we have the climax. Life's a circle, endless and small, and when all's said and done, the world's a ball. So the world is round and it goes in cycles. We have different cycles mentioned in the book. We have the cycle of life, we have the cycle of different seasons, the different days, the different parts of the day. So this is the main message, that life goes on and football is always present in his life. Now I'm going to give you some tasks. So the first part of the task is going to be about those verbs that end in ing. Remember, well, I read these words that all end in ing, not punching a ball or bashing a ball. So what I want from you is to find your own adjectives and continue these not adjectives but verbs in this case. So we have not punching a ball or bashing a ball. So I want you to create your own poem using these ing verbs. What other verbs can I use? Okay, how can I continue this poem? Okay, and then I want you to act out the poem with the verbs you wrote yourself. Okay, for example, bouncing a ball, throwing a ball. These are all different verbs we can use. Okay? Now, so I'm going to, I have some questions as well for you now. So, we're going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to answer the questions as I go along. So, the first question is, from the front cover, what team comes to mind when we look at the front cover? We discussed this already. We said that by looking at the front cover, we can see that we have the universal team of football, the team of traveling around the world. Wherever you are, you can play football, and that we can understand each other by playing football together, and football unites us all together. Okay? Now, we spoke about the rhyming scheme of the poem as well. By looking at the blurb, we can see this more clearly. So we have kicking a ball. Kicking a ball is the purpose, that's surely the purpose of life after all. So we have the second and the fourth verses that are rhyming, okay? The last word of the second and the fourth verse rhyme together. Now, mention other themes that we can find in the book. So other themes, we said that there is the theme of growing up, the cycle of life, that when he is young, from when he is young till when he grows up, he is always carrying a ball with him. His friends remain the same. They might also change, but the love of football persists throughout his life. And life is like a ball. It goes in cycles. We have different cycles as well. We have the cycles morning, afternoon. We have the part of the day. We have the seasons that change. We have the heat. We have the cold, freezing weather. Okay? Now, the last question I'm going to ask you is this. So where would you like to kick a ball? Here we mentioned different places. In the blurb we mentioned the mountains, Nepal, diving for pearls in the Bay of Bengal, okay? And we mentioned Donegal as well. Now I would like you to mention some landmarks or some important places where we would like to kick a ball. Then you can give us a short description. And if you want, you can send us your answers on our website NLA at ilearn.edu.mt. And that's all for today. Thank you very much.